Hello everyone, it is January 15th, 1942, and welcome back to another turn in our struggle against the Empire of Japan. Let's see what this turn brings. Starts off with a naval bombardment of Balikpapan by a cruiser force sorting out of Soriyaba that I had run up here to try to bombard that airfield. Let's see if they do any damage. Escort bombard is turned on, so all the ships should be firing their guns. I did not do night naval reconnaissance of the Hex though, which can help spot for my ships. But 29 zeros damage, 4 bells damage, and good runway and port hits, and a few casualties. So, all in all, not a bad little run by this task force. And I do the same thing at Miri. I sorted these from Kuching, where they were disbanded, run at full speed up to Miri, again trying to do some damage to that runway and damage or destroy some of his zeros. And some decent results here too, quite a few damaged planes. Destroyed Mavis, and great runway hits. That's always really good to see. Over halfway to be shut down there. Oh, tragically, this is sad to see. 80 Dixie takes a torpedo on its way down south. Looks to Pago Pago. This is tragic because 80 Dixie is a high-value destroyer tender, and chances are with a torpedo like this, I don't know if it's going to survive. Oh, definitely not going to survive. It takes 2 more immediately afterwards. I'm going to have to up my anti-submarine warfare in this area for sure. This particular task force, has just been hounded its entire journey by these submarines. And we're on to the air phase already. Have some sweeps above Rangoon. Looks like it's going back and forth in the air here. Some good hits on those Oscars. Oh yeah, 6 destroyed. Only losing 2 planes. I'll take that any day for a sweep. And here come my P-38 Lightnings. He's got Oscar Zeros and Tojos here, and my Lightnings seem to be taking some damage from those experienced Zeros. Definitely tougher than it has been over this Hex. I lose 2 Lightnings, but I trade for 5 of their fighters. Another one of these sweeps. A lot of times that second sweep will do a little bit better. Let's see if that happened this time. No, we trade for even odds. And honestly, these Lightnings are more valuable than these Zeros and Oscars are. We have a sweep above Singapore. Again, why we have all this cap here is we now have a transport ship that's come into this Hex, offloading some valuable supplies to Singapore. We come out ahead in the sweep, though. I'll take it. And yeah, I just want to protect it. I don't want to have the ship sunk while they're offloading at Singapore. So we've brought in a whole lot of additional cap there. More bombing on Manila. And Bataan. And sweeps with the Philippines. Same large bombing raid as usual, going against Cyan. This bombing is definitely slowing fort construction, but it hasn't been stopping it, though that's a lot of runway hits. That may not be the case this turn. Bombing raid coming in above Singapore. My cap is not very large right now because of that sweep. See if these fighters make it their way to the bombers, and they do. So no Allied losses. 2 Lilies destroyed, a couple Oscars destroyed. Good job, guys. Cyan continues to take damage, and Quang Chaoan as well. Most of Quang Chaoan's troops are actually now up here east of Nanning. Just a static base force left in the Hex right now. Quang Chaoan itself. And this time, these bombers come in without escorts. And it looks like my fighters do well against them. 4 total destroyed. Shaping up to be a decent day in the air for us, except for those P-38 losses. Let's see if this group does any better. Doesn't look like it. It's getting handled pretty well by these fighters. I lose 1, they lose 2. Not as much cap above Balikpop on this turn, due to, I'm sure, that naval bombardment that it went in. It didn't do a huge amount of runway damage, but my bombing over the previous days has done quite a bit, and so that addition of a little bit more sweep goes in here. The addition of a little bit more damage really affected his ability to defend that Hex. Now, I have long-range cap with these lightnings trying to protect these bombers going into Bangkok, but they don't seem to engage with his... there they go, finally. But not really doing a lot against his aircraft. Yeah, I lose 2 Blenheims, 2 Hudsons for not a lot of damage, but some planes were destroyed on the ground there. Not a great raid. Yeah, and these Blenheims come in unescorted. That's a problem. Surprised they made it through with no losses, but 4 damaged. May have to just keep sweeping at that Hex for a while, continue to degrade that cap before I send more bombers in. Meanwhile, I continue to bomb this Hex, just keeping that runway shut. There's no more planes there anymore. Okay, so because we degraded that cap at Balikpapan because of that wonderful naval bombardment, now my 4-inch bombers can go into the Hex and really do some damage, destroying 5 planes on the ground. And the Liberators follow up with B-17s. Another 4 on the ground. Some Glen 167Fs as well. Yeah, just trashing that airfield. I also have some bombers doing the ground attack thing at this Hex because it is clear I can do some damage to those troops. It's not really strategically important or even tactically important. In a way, it's just a way for my air crews to get experience and to increase their experience with an easy target that they're not going to take a lot of damage attacking. Large bombing raid, 24 Sallies, tries to shut down my airfield in retaliation. We have this kind of war right now between Rangoon and Chongqing. Most of the bombers get through. Looks like they're doing some good damage on the runway there, which is unfortunate. My bombers make another intercept though, or my fighters make another intercept on his bombers, and these Sallies are paying the price. Lots of damage on both sides. He loses, it looks like, 12 aircraft altogether between 10 Sallies and 2 zeros. But I also lose, it looks like, 5 valuable fighters and take some runway hits. Betties come in unescorted. Let's see if... I don't have a lot of cap still in the air, though. Let's see if we can get some more flying and to intercept these bombers. 7 still make it through, but do only minor damage while I take out 7 Betties. bombing. My fighters don't even intercept those sallies. I'm not sure why. And we're on, finally, to the PM air phase. A lot going on in the air today. Again, skipping through these bombing raids unless we see something really interesting happening. You've seen them before, same targets, same planes. And that was a short PM phase. Finally deliberately attacking at Manila. This is the same hex that I did that terrible first attack where I was trying to force him onto the hex, took huge damage, and he has about twice to 3 times as much AV here as I do. Could be painful for me. I do have good forts here. I do have urban light terrain here, which is good. So it could go either way. And sometimes, you know, there's a dice roll involved in it as well. It's not just simple math. And so sometimes what looks to be one way winds up being another. So they reduce fortifications to 2, which isn't good to see. But still he winds up with 1 to 2 odds. But the fact that he reduced forts on his first attack does not bode well for me. Many more casualties on his side, but again, it's all about what's happening in the squads themselves. Lots of disabled, but I lose 48 combat squads compared to his 16, so my combat value is going to be probably more negatively affected than his is. Lots of engineers destroyed, probably destroyed lowering those forts. And he loses some vehicles. But all in all, my defenders did not hold out as well as I thought they would. And I think a big part of that is the fact that they were at 1200 AV, or 1100 AV, before they attacked a few turns ago, and they still just haven't recovered from that disastrous assault. So, my fault, and Manila will probably fall sooner than it could have because of it. And he attacks Clark Field at the same time. And now my troops at Clark Field are a little bit more fresh because they didn't do that attack. This is the first time that he's come after them. A lot of large units on his side, and like I've said before, they perform better in combat than these smaller units. And he has more artillery than I have as well. Some SNLF units, which are the Special Naval Landing Force units. Great for amphibious assaults. I don't know if I'd waste them on a siege like this. He has some tanks, but I have some tanks as well. This could go either way. Always nice to see those assault values tick down, but they're also ticking down on my side too. Subic Bay Defense goes down to 0 AV, so all their squads are disabled. Cano Detachment is down to 0 AV, all their squads disabled. Long combat here. Alright, my forts are reduced. Again, not something I like to see on the first attack. 1 to 2 odds, just like Manila. And kind of have a similar result here. He has more total casualties, but I have more lost combat squads. He loses 92 vehicles, 5 destroyed, 87 disabled. My vehicle losses are high as well. I lose a lot more guns, or just a lot more guns disabled. Lots of engineering squads destroyed, destroying my fortifications. Engineering squads, they really help to reduce fortifications, but they also take a lot of losses when they're in that role. So all in all, not the result I really hoped for. I hoped that Manila and Clark would stand up a little bit longer, but it looks if he continues to reduce forts like this, they will not hold on to too much longer, and I'll have to draw back to Bataan. Deliberate attack at Nanning. I just have this one Chinese corps and a base force here, and I think only level 3 forts. He reduces those to 2 with a 1-to-1 attack. I come out okay here, though, all things considered. 2 destroyed combat squads on either side, but 111 of his are disabled. That loss of the fort, though, is going to decrease my net adjusted value, AV value, more than those 111 disabled squads. So he is going to have a better chance to take the Hex tomorrow. Attack on Ambon. I imagine it's going to fall. I'm not sure how it's not falling. He's just wiping out my squads, but they're hanging on without surrendering, which good for them, I guess. Bombarding at Guam. That's what he needs to do there. And I bombard back at Ambon. And at Samarinda, not doing any damage at Samarinda this time. He does a shock attack at Samarinda. Ooh, not a good idea. He has adjusted assault value of 0. And he just loses some troops. You know, I wonder if this shock attack... I think this shock attack was because he had a unit here which was trying to cross the river. I think it crossed the river, and river crossings automatically prompt a shock attack. I don't think it was something he really meant to do. He just was getting this this unit over the river, opening that hex side, and causing that shock attack to happen. A little bit of a long turn today. I apologize about that. But thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the Discord. Take care, everybody.